I think it's safe to say that now August is here, Polytunnel jungle mode is completely unlocked. But what I really wanted to show you was this. Look at the birdhouse gourd that I put in the polytunnel. It is absolutely enormous. I had no idea that they would even grow this big. It is quite literally taking over the entire polytunnel. It's amazing. I mean, this is not a little cottage for a bird family. This is a deluxe suite. Blown away. And as if the birdhouse gourd isn't excited enough, these melons are starting to ripen as well, and they are so much bigger than the melons last year. Just goes to show that the extra heat has really done wonders for some crops on the garden, but not for everything. Because although it's actually cold today and I need to put a jacket on, the heat did not do well for my peas. They went from not being ready to sort of just drying or dying on the plant. Once they'd very quickly started going over, I thought that I would save them for drying peas. But to be honest, I don't even think that's working because they seem to be going mouldy on the plant. As you can see, these ones here haven't even dried properly, but they've completely succumbed to powdery mildew. And I don't want that to infect other plants around here, so I'm going to get rid of them now. So I'm harvesting them. I will sort through them and keep the ones that don't look particularly mouldy as pods, and then just see if they will just continue to dry a bit. And then hopefully I can use these as my alderman pea seeds for next year. And if you just have a quick look inside one of these. Oh yes, they look like nicely dried peas that I'll be able to use for seed next year. Now, unfortunately, lots of those were mouldy, so I haven't saved as many as I expected to, but there's a few there to be getting on with for next year's seed, and I'm quite happy with that. It's not a total loss of the crop, is it? But what am I going to put back in that bed now? I bet you can relate to having unmatching gloves, can't you? I seem to have a drawer full of gloves that don't match. Don't know what's happened to the other one of all of them. Now, I don't have any more fish blood and bones, so I'm just going to be putting a few chicken pellets in here for a little bit of a fertiliser boost for the soil. Now you're probably wondering what I'm going to be sowing in this bed now, and I bet you're not expecting me to say peas. Not least for the fact that that is what I've just taken out of here, but the fact that peas are generally sown earlier on in the year. But this variety is called Terrain, and the packet says it can be sowed from April to July, and it's a reliable late cropper, cropping up until November. Well, it's the 31st of July today, and I have nothing else to plant here, so let's give it a go. Now, it still seems pretty optimistic to me to think that these will harvest before the end of the season or the first frosts. But I won't know until I try, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I like to think that I'm quite intelligent, but I made a big mistake when I moved this grapevine and I planted it here. Why didn't I plant it right in front of this ginormous metal support that I could have tied the main leaders up and then branched from there? No, I went and tied it here, which means now I'm trying to knock a support in the ground for it. And I've lost 5.5 stones in weight this year, which I know is absolutely phenomenal, and even I can't believe that I had put on that much weight that I needed to lose 5.5 stones. But it also means that I've got 5.5 stones less weight and power behind me to be knocking this stake in. But I will not be beaten. Now, I can't do every job myself, which you're going to find out shortly in this video. But I think I've done this one. We won't talk about it not being very square. This is the grapevine that I planted 2 years ago nearly now. That was really not doing anything, and I was contemplating digging it up. But as you can see, it has sprung into life. Now, I was watching a YouTube video last night on how to train a 2-year-old grapevine, and I've decided that I want to cordon mine up the side of the fruit cage so that it can sort of run closer to the top, but I can still reach it. So I have quite a few vines on here which need to be cut off so it can put its energy into the main one. So I'm going to try and tie this one in, as this one is the strongest one. But obviously if this one breaks, then we'll take the next strongest one until hopefully we have the job done and we don't run out of vines. What I do have are some spare tree ties here. So I think I'm going to try and use those on it. I think the first job I need to do is take out this temporary stake. And get this back closer to there. But I think I'm going to be very brave and actually take this one off now, because I don't want that one that's growing out the back of the fruit cage. Oops. Shredded a few leaves there. So now I've tied that in, I'm supposed to cut all of these off, which is a bit of a scary thing to do. And yet here I am doing it. And my last job to do is cut the leading head. Now that was a bit brutal, but hopefully next spring I can revisit what to do with this, as I believe I need to take off all of the side shoots except for the 2 at the top that I'm going to train to go left and right. Providing it survives winter, obviously. Good luck, little dude, good luck. Do you know what, I'm actually now just questioning myself and whether I should have ignored the tutorial and put 2 canes up so that I could have just taken each cane one each direction. Because now I'm putting all of my faith into that 1 cane surviving winter, or just living full stop. Oh, and now I'm feeling nervous. And while I'm in here, look at this. This is a Cape gooseberry. There's another one growing around the back there, and this one here. And if there's any doubt that they're Cape gooseberries, that's a Cape gooseberry flower. I did grow them in the fruit cage last year, but fancy taking until now to decide to grow on their own. Oh, hare. Run, bunny, run. We've had a report of the water trough running over. So a little bit of routine maintenance. Well, the daily job. I'm going to count the cattle now, who are all coming running in this direction. I'll show you them. Hello. That was a bit speedy. You're feeling energetic. They're so funny. How many are in that field again? 34, and there's 36 in the other one. I've had to switch the mower off and send him back to his home before Duncan runs him over. It's so funny. Instruction I've had is to level these with the top of this piece of wood. He's going to cut these posts off eventually. So if I do that, I need to make sure that this one is level. Oh, I did not expect the corner of that wall to be square, but it is. So that is amazing. First piece done. Still square. So proud of myself. I think we're going to put a trim on the top, which is why we've gone right to the top with that, but the start of the fence. I'm really pleased with that. I've never built a fence before, but I do feel like it's going to be a little bit bland. So I took a trip to David Austin Rosie's on Monday with Kerry and Jane. We had a really good look around, a really great day, and I might have bought a rose or two, one of which will be going against that fence. It was an absolutely amazing day out, and this is where my roses in waiting are. When you visit David Austin, you do buy some truly amazing sized roses. I mean, look at that. This one is James Galway. This one here is Lady of the Lake. And then the one behind here is Wallerton Old Hall. Only one of these will be going against the fence. I'm not sure which one yet, probably one of the pink ones. The others are destined for an archway that we have yet to build. You might remember that earlier in the year, Robin from Robin's Garden sent me some potato seeds, actual teeny tiny seeds, not seed potatoes, and the variety was called Clancy. I sowed them, 2 germinated, and I did plant them up, and I don't think I've shown them since then. Well, they're starting to get flowers on them now, and they are looking really healthy. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a crop of potatoes out of these later on in the season. Now I've just spotted underneath this jungle that there are patty pans. Last time I looked, there wasn't any there. These are more than ready. Wow. I love these. You scoop them out, roast them in the oven, fill them with veggies or mince or anything like that, and absolutely gorgeous. I'm really excited, but that's not the only one, because there's actually another one here hiding. I'm not sure how easy I can get into it. There it is. Where are you fastened on? There. I thought I'd have a look through the foliage on the other side as well, because you really have to climb in amongst it. They were not hard to spot last year, but then the plants themselves just didn't grow this big. They really did not like the cold summer. But that is ginormous. It is so heavy as well. Wow. They are ridiculous. I know exactly what we're going to be eating tonight. Now, as if I haven't had enough excitement for 1 week, I finally have my first French beans to pick. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that this has been a cause for great upset, that I've had to wait this long until I've had some French beans to harvest. But the wait is finally over. Look at those. They are lovely. And I've got some little snips here, although I am a bit scared of them, because I don't want to damage the plant. I'm just going to snip them off. Look at them, gosh, in fact that one's a bit big. Oh, I can't tell you how happy this makes me. They're a bit curly because I think that is an effect of the weather. Look at that one. I am absolutely thrilled with those. Not the biggest harvest, but finally I have some French beans. And if these being ready isn't exciting enough, then the climbing beans are even more exciting. They are just starting to get some flowers on them, so hopefully it won't be long before I'm inundated with French beans. In next week's episode, I'll be getting ready for a local agricultural show, and I'll take you along and see how we do. But until then, look after yourselves. Bye.